All right, so let's talk about San Marcos. In our first video, the quick 5-minuter, we showed you the Texas State University footage with the San Marcos River and all of that. Let's start out by saying we were thinking we were going to do a group of 5-minute videos throughout the week, but we quickly learned this week that that's not going to happen. It turns out that it actually is more editing. I was thinking maybe we could just do it a little quicker, rougher video, but I don't know, I can't quite let the video just be in rough form, so I've wanted to put more editing to it, and then we found ourselves not finding time to get the rest of that done. So this is the rest of San Marcos.
Ever recorded, because weather doesn't always work out. It can be windy or cloudy and raining, and then you can't record outside, so that throws another wrench into... It
definitely did. So anyway, we kind of asked some of you guys how you felt about it, and I think that people generally liked the shorter videos, but where we are right now, with the time we have available to do this, we're just going to continue down the road with the longer Sunday-only videos on Sunday morning, so hopefully you're good with that. With that said, let's talk about San Marcos and what we thought about it. First of all, it rained a ton.
A ton. There were flood warnings, and we didn't know if we were going to have to move, but the campsite we were at was actually at a pretty high elevation behind the river, but we were watching weather rather closely.
It was, yeah. I was even online looking up the elevation maps and the flood stages, and looking at the Weather Channel and seeing what they were saying for flooding, and trying to figure out where we are with all of that. And we were safe, but it was questionable. But we did end up with quite a lake around the RV.
A lot of water around the RV. We couldn't even actually get to the truck that was parked behind the RV without going through water. Right. No matter what direction we went around the rig, where our shoes were wet.
Yeah, I remember porting Sedona through the water with my waterproof boots just to get her back to the RV. But the rain subsided. I just want to bring up the grass burrs in San Marcos. Oh man, the grass burrs, I think Texans call them stickers or prickers, I'm not sure, but they're miserable. I'm going to tell you right now, if you have to walk dogs all the time, which these guys were doing, for the most part around to go to the bathroom and whatnot, the dogs come back with the prickers in their paws, and you come back and they're all sticking in your shoes. We had to leave all the shoes outside because we couldn't track them in the rig. But even with that, we kept finding them in the rig. You'd hear a yelp from one end.
Put Steph on one of them. And as soon as we put the dogs down on the little grassy patch at our RV site, when we had landed there, and Trav was getting the rig ready to take the slides out and everything, and the dogs just put their feet like this, and we were like, what's going on? Walking around with one leg up.
Oh God, those were a pain.
They were a pain.
We were happy to leave the grass burrs behind.
And actually, we still have some on one of our blankets in the RV now.
Well, that's the thing about RV life is just today. I mean, that was, 4 weeks ago or something? 5 weeks ago, maybe? I just found a bug in our RV that we had picked up in Austin, I think those things were.
No way. That was first leg bug.
No.
Yes,
oh, was that the Niagara Falls bug? We got that thing in there.
Yes.
This bug was alive.
Unless they have them here.
I don't think they do. Anyway, it just showed up. It was in our vent screen, and I had to vacuum him up and relocate him. But he was still alive, and he came from Niagara Falls. And if you've been watching our videos, you know that was a long time ago.
That was a little while ago.
That was a robust bug. So talking about the Texas State University, just to rehash real quick, that was cool. It was a quick 5-minute video, but we had a lot of fun down there. We found a nice warm river. That was pretty cool, and I would love to go back and tube that in the summer.
Well, I think the river goes all through town, and actually our campsite was also on that same river. And that's why it's really popular in the summertime. And there's actually, you can rent kayaks at the campground we were at. But even downtown, at the university, they had kayaks and tubes. And there was a place off the road from where we were camping too that said tubes. For, if you want to buy tubes, go this way. And for like 4 or 5 days, I was like, tubes? Why would I need any tubes?
It's because you
palm
get
because-
holes in your tubes from the prickers.
People are on the tubes all summer on the river, so
That'd
it
be a
looks like it
blast.
would be really fun to do the whole loop through town.
Yeah. So we did that. You saw that video. And then we took a hike up to Purgatory Trail.
That hike.
Yeah. She's going to tell you something, and it's all a lie. It's completely fabricated. But we took an evening hike up to Purgatory Trail, just west of San Marcos. And that was a nice hike. It was quick. It was getting dark, so I shot a little film in that earlier video. Or I shot a good amount of film, but only put a little bit in the video because it was too dark to show you. But it was a nice hike. If you're in San Marcos looking for a hike, just look up Purgatory Trail. It was a good trail for dogs as well. And mountain biking. Went mountain biking on that trail.
There were a lot of bikers. And let's explain why it's called Purgatory.
Why is it called Purgatory?
Well, because there are
It's not true.
What? I read it online.
Oh, I thought you were going to blame it on me.
Oh no,
Okay.
It's called Purgatory because there's so many little branches of trails back there that if you're not familiar with the map at all, you're gonna go around in circles. So they all kind of intertwine throughout the whole area, and I at least read online that it was called Purgatory because you could get lost there.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I actually went mountain biking. It was the day we got there, Sunday. Yeah, we got there early on a Sunday because we had just come down from Austin, and I went mountain biking on that network. So it was kind of nice mountain biking trails too, but I didn't realize that's why they called Purgatory. I thought it was because
people might lose you, get you lost on the trail because they can't see the trail in the dark.
Jen insists I got us lost, but I didn't. I did not get us lost.
We were bushwhacking with some deer. We came across deer. They were just grazing as we're like totally
why are
off
humans
trail.
here?
We made it.
Yeah, it was all right. It was a good little hike. So next we went up to Wimberly Glass Works.
Yeah.
Called Glass Works. Glass blowing place. Beautiful store. They had
really nice stuff.
Awesome examples of glass blown, all kinds of things, decorative items and jewelry, not silverware. You don't do silverware with glass blowing, right?
No, that would be really weird with your teeth and all that.
Dishware.
There were tons of plates and lamps and clocks and ornaments. I love the ornaments, yeah.
So yeah, we went in there, and then they actually have an area in back where actually they're doing the glass blowing that you can go sit down, and they have a little bit of a theater built, and you can watch them work, and then they'll come up and they'll present you the items that they're making and talk about them a little bit. Jen and the kids got a chance to ask them about their education, how they got into glass blowing, which was kind of cool. I don't know if I have that in the video, but...
So you see right in the middle of this there, we call it our folded lip bowls because you actually fold the lip back. You see the interior color. They're really pretty and colorful.
That's cool.
As a homeschool mom, I always ask questions to the people that we tour. How did you get into this line of work? Not because I need to hurry up and get my kids into that line of work, but I just want them to know if they find an option along the path of learning that they really enjoy, they'll always have the answer of what led this person to be a ranger or that person to be a glass blower. I just always want that in their pocket, that this is how we got there. So I always ask that question everywhere I go.
And she was nice enough to answer it
Yeah.
and about how each one of them have gotten there. That is
It's about
awesome.
1,000 degrees, so the color isn't quite true yet. It's going to be actually a nice light blue on the outside and then green on the inside.
That is very cool.
So when we're done with the pieces, we have to kill them pretty quickly, or else you can just crack and explode. So inside the kiln is 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, cold for glass, and everything we've been making today is in the oven. Just bring it out in that kiln.
Before I forget, I want to talk allergies. I am an allergy sufferer in Colorado in the spring. I mean, there's about a month and a half period where it just wrecks me. Definitely have to take my Zyrtec D and get through it. So I was not expecting that this time of year in the winter, and it was really San Marcos where it started to hit me hard. All through the central and southern Texas, it got me bad. So anyway, if you're an allergy sufferer, keep that in mind. If you're not used to having allergies in the winter, you will get them down here in central Texas. So
Things are
fun.
blooming.
The car museum.
Oh yes, the car museum.
Yeah. So near that.
I'm actually quite sad about this car museum.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Actually, I was putting the video together and looking through all the footage, and of course, we took a lot more footage that we put in the video. Side note: if you want to see the extra footage to our videos, we don't put everything in the Sunday video, but we do put it on our Patreon page for our patrons, our subscribers to that page. So if you want extras, go check out. We have outtakes and extra footage of things that we just kind of leave on the cutting room floor. So I just want to slip that in there. Anyway, the car museum. It was Dick's Classic Car Museum, and that was actually right next door to the Lower Purgatory Trailhead. So if you're going to hike the trail, you might as well go check out.
Oh, you can't.
Never mind, you can't check it out. And this is why, because this was a really cool museum. They were down to about 50% of their cars, and they still had, I want to say, 47 in there, and they were beautiful examples of restored cars. I mean, we fell in love, and I have never been a classic car kind of guy. They didn't do a lot for me, but lately, and Dick's had a big part in it. Lately, I've really been interested in them, and there were some really beautiful examples in this museum.
Like the 1967 Corvette.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Honestly, I don't remember
first
the name
car.
of that one car.
Yeah, I have it in my.
You'll see this car in the video,
it's
and
pretty.
it's this like.
It was 1920s.
Yeah, maybe. No, a little bit later than that. Yeah, maybe mid-20s. Anyways, beautiful. Look for it. It's like a real dark maroon color with a copper or chrome grill lines on it. You'll see it in the video. Absolutely beautiful. By far my favorite car in there. But the story on Dick's is that they were down to 50% of their inventory when we got there, and that's because they were auctioning it all off. They were getting rid of it because, unfortunately, the guy, I assume it was Dick, passed away, and he didn't leave a will, according to the people there. And so there was nothing to do but auction off all of the old classic car inventory.
Yeah.
So that the money went back to his estate, and so they were closing down this museum. So we were, some of the last people to go in there because they closed it down on December 30th, which is pretty sad because it's a really cool place.
Was.
Yeah.
I mean, even I'm not really a car person at all, and still I was like, ooh, these are really pretty. And they had the Batmobile, or a version of the Batmobile, which, of course, I enjoyed growing up watching
cool.
Batman.
Jen had a little horse party. Or no, it was a lion party. Yeah, Leo the lion. She had a little
mechanical horse. You rode one when you were a kid, and I don't think I've been on one since I was like 7.
Right.
And they had one there, and it was only 5 cents, so I did it.
You're reliving those childhood days
Yeah.
outside the supermarket.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Dancing to the music.
That's why.
Been caught dancing.
That's why I was laughing.
Wait for it. Okay. Yes, I'm ready.
That's pretty much the same reaction he had.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so going in the video.
It's pretty fun, isn't it? See? We're making a party out of the lion today.
So you and Leo seem to have a little bit of a synergy going there.
Oh, well, as I was telling the children who think I'm ancient, when I was a kid, I used to beg my mom to let me ride those little things at the grocery stores. And when she got her hair cut with, I think his name was Bill, I think there was one down the, like halfway down the shopping center. Please, Mom, can I have a quarter? That one was only 5 cents. It's a bargain.
And those were genuinely fun. Now it has to be Xbox and $1,200 cell phones. Dude, we were impressed and we enjoyed and entertained by a Leo the lion that you put a nickel in.
It was like riding a horse, right? And I rode horses when I was a kid, so maybe that's why it was like even more fun.
Kids don't know how to have fun these days.
They don't.
No, see, I used to like to do them when I was little, but I'm older.
Older now.
More mature. So last but not least, we had Buc-ees. So we're from Colorado. I'm originally from the East Coast. So is she. I'd never even heard of a Buc-ees. So one of our friend of show and patrons, Mandy, asked us, hey, you're in Texas. Have you ever been to a Buc-ees? And I was like, what the heck is a Buc-ees? In fact, we even had a conversation about it. Was it Buc-ees or Buc-ees? You know?
All right, because it's B-U-C-E, and if you talk about phonetics, it would be an S, but there's a hyphen, so.
But a beaver is their mascot. We didn't know that at the time, so it's clearly Buc-ees. Anyway, so she said, you got to swing by a Buc-ees, and on the way out of San Marcos was New Braunfels, and in New Braunfels was our first Buc-ees, and it was actually one of the bigger ones. And oh man,
It's enormous.
this place was a shock because I didn't even know. I don't even know if I knew it was a convenience store because I looked it up, and I knew it was a convenience store, and I realized it had a lot of snacks in it, but that's about it. We showed up to Buc-ees parking lot, and it was like Costco for convenience on steroids. It had, if you know, like if you like a row of gas pumps at a typical large gas station, well, if you extend that row maybe 4 times and then add
Double it.
another row of all those same gas pumps, that's a large Buc-ees. And you go inside, as you'll see in the video, there are walls and walls of snacks. Crazy, like a meat
T-shirts
case.
Too, and like anything you
Oh,
could
yeah,
want from
knickknacks.
Texas, and
Right.
Buc-ees logo stuff, and
That's
kids.
crazy.
Like stuff you could take home to toddlers. I mean, little onesies with Buc-ees on
Yeah,
them.
yeah, you buy your little
Texas
plushies.
A&M stuff.
They had beef jerky. They had a couple walls worth of beef jerky, and then they had a whole beef jerky meat case that you could get fresh jerky. It was
And
crazy.
Dippin' Dots, because we did partake in
Dots.
some Dippin' Dots.
Yes, we had our Dippin' Dots because you don't find Dippin' Dots very often. Honestly, in our experience, we have to go to some fair or something like that, so we get Dippin' Dots. So people will probably laugh at us for going to Buc-ees and getting Dippin' Dots, but that's what we did.
You got jerky too.
That's true. I
That
got
was
some
probably
jerky out
a
of the meat case.
must-do.
Yes. So I actually didn't like my jerky, but it was just the flavor I chose. Nothing against Buc-ees. So anyway, that was Buc-ees. So we appreciate Mandy for making that recommendation, and we hope you guys will continue to make recommendations on places that we need to see around the country that we're not going to know about. Because something like Buc-ees, I never would have known about.
It's not going to show up on TripAdvisor.
Unless I accidentally stop to buy fuel, and a lot of times we don't even go into the store. If I'm going to buy diesel, I just want to keep moving. I might have just bought diesel I don't know. At Buc-ees, honestly, you pull in there, you kind of
You might want to see what's inside because I mean, actually, people were there not even to get gas, but to like shop for Buc-ee's specialty items. So
yeah,
it was
before Christmas,
packed, really in there.
It was
very crowded.
It was crazy. Buc-ees is cool.
All right, Mandy, this one's for you. We're going to see Buc-ees. It is Buc-ees, right?
Or you look dumb.
And you're right, Buc-ees is huge. I can't believe how many pumps are at Buc-ees, much less the size of the store. Sorry for shooting up my nose. Hope you didn't see anything in there. This place is enormous. The walls of snacks alone. We just went into Buc-ees, which is ginormous. It was way more than we expected to find. That was cool though. They had all kinds of beef jerky walls. I mean, they had two walls of beef jerky and a whole like meat case of beef jerky. All kinds of snacks. I mean, they had like shirts and everything. You'll see on the video.
Christmas stuff and Buc-ee's memorabilia, I guess.
Yeah. All kinds of Buc-ees stuffies.
T-shirts.
So we walked out of Buc-ees. We walked out of Buc-ees with Dippin' Dots. Because why not? If you find Dippin' Dots, you get Dippin' Dots. And then I tried some of the beef jerky out of the meat case. But that was definitely an experience. But what we wanted you guys to do is leave a comment below for what you guys have, tips for us to go check little things like this out. Because this one came in via Mandy, who is one of our Patreon subscribers and a loyal follower, and it's not something I would have stopped at. A gas station, I wouldn't have thought of stopping at a gas station, but she had asked if we had seen a Buc-ees, and of course we hadn't, not being from Texas. So that was a cool tip, and it was cool to see that. So if you guys have comments or tips, leave comments down below and let us know where in the world or where in the country we might stop and film and check out for ourselves.
Yeah, the place was packed, so evidently the tips got out that it is the place to go, or everybody from Texas already knows and has their favorite little jerky or snacks that are packed only at Buc-ees, and they all go there. I mean, packed.
It was crazy. I mean, the fuel pumps alone are just rows and rows and rows and rows of fuel pumps. It's crazy. So, anyway, good tip, Mandy.
Yep, thanks.
Leave us a comment.
So if you guys have little nuggets like that we're not going to be aware of, throw them out. I mean, you don't know where we're heading, but in general, just, we're going to try and hit every state. And if you live in a state and you have some strange thing that out-of-towners should know about, throw them in the comments and let us know about it. And like I said, do us a favor, go over to Patreon and consider becoming a patron, because we do put extra video outtakes, some of the funny stuff in there. And then Jen also writes a patron-only blog post over there as well. So there's more than just the YouTube videos. And we have Oh the Places Will Roll, ohtheplaceswillroll.com. That's the blog that's available to everybody. So make sure you're checking us out there, as well as Instagram And Twitter is kind of warming up.
I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, we're working on Twitter. And then Facebook. I forgot about Facebook.
Always Facebook, yeah.
There's our regular Facebook page, and then there's a page just for patrons. So when you become a patron, you actually get access to the private Facebook group, which we're ramping up as well as we gain patrons at this point. So that should be it. Geez, I think we talked more than we planned on talking. But
We're chatty.
yeah, we're chatty. Put a camera in front of us and we get going. So anyway, as always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and do us a favor and share the show with somebody else who might be interested in the RV lifestyle, and make sure you leave us some comments below. That should do it.
Thanks.